Hey everybody, it is Davina Ware, your fellow foodie as well as the workplace and career strategist. So I'm continuing my way of Eats through Boise, and this one will be a little bit different. So I went to the Boise Soul Food Festival. Who even knew that something like that would exist here? I definitely didn't, but luckily my hairdresser was telling me about it. And I said, okay, well, I got to check this thing out. One, to just like see the vibe and meet new people. But of course, I'm like, well, how was the soul food? So this is just a quick video of my little experience of being at the Soul Food Festival and just kind of some things that I ran into there. So I'll show a couple of little clips while I was there. It was super hot. And so me trying to record and like hold food amongst other things, it was interesting. So let's dive into some clips of what I experienced. And then I'll come back on here and do a little wrap up. Okay, so this is my attempt at making it to the Soul Food Festival. Let me just start by saying that I grossly underestimated the attendance. I just figured, oh, I could just roll in here at 2 o'clock, it's fine. But I just spent the last hour looking for a park. So I had to park in the downtown, like forget the park parking, like forget that. And that's about a 15-minute walk. Um, yeah, to the place. So I feel like the whole city is at this event. I'm looking forward to some good food, obviously, and some entertainment and some fun folks. So let's see what we happen upon. Okay, so I was already hungry, right? Because it's hot and I had saved my appetite, but then the cha-cha slide situation, so clearly I was super hungry. So I found a line where it was a long line for B&B soul food. And I'm like, oh, okay, let me stand here, it'll move quickly. I was in that line for 42 minutes. Why do I know that? Because the lady in front of me had timed it and I got in line just after she did. And so we got up there and I'm like, oh, great. Let me get some fried catfish. Let me taste some ribs, whatever. And so the woman is like, oh no, we're out of that. We're out of that. I'm like, do you have greens? No, we're out of that. Do you have red beans and rice? No, we're out. What do you have, ma'am? What do you have? It's hot. I'm hungry. I just performed for the people. What do you have? And they had corn dogs and banana pudding. And I'm like, just give it here. Give it to me. Fine, fine, fine. And I thought I was disappointed because I really had been wanting some ribs while I was here, and I was, back in Chicago. If you just want like some fried fish, you just could stumble over a place, put a little lemon pepper on it, like that's just how that goes. But that's not what happened here. So I was like, oh, I'm just gonna eat this corn dog for sheer survival at this point. And to my surprise, that corn dog was so good, so good. I'd like to think it's not because I was tipping on the point of hangry, but that corn dog was special. It was really good. The banana pudding was good. It wasn't my grandma's banana pudding. My sister also makes a really, really good banana pudding. It wasn't that, but it wasn't too far from it. So that first stop was a good stop. So then I'm like, okay, well, there's some things I've got to taste. Let me find them. So I stumbled upon this interesting place called Timberlake's Cuisine. So Timberlake's Cuisine. They were just kind of biting off of the whole Justin Timberlake thing. And I think in the video I show, yeah, on their pull-up banner, it said, we're bringing Tasty back. And I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I going over here? Why? For what reason? But I was so hungry. And I think the only thing they had left was this kind of compilation thing. It was pulled pork over a bed of collard greens over a bed of smoked macaroni and cheese. I'm like, if nothing else, like the corn dog just knocked the hanks off just a little bit, But that thing, I said, nah, I need something to, kind of fill me up and stay in there. And that it did for sure. So at this point, I'm kind of just like checking out what other vendors and things are there, what kind of folks are there as I'm eating my dish. And the music was good. You had a little Earth, Wind, and Fire. You had a little, everybody knows me. They're like top two of my favorite groups, artist, music, whatever of all time. Had a little Stevie Wonder. Then we got into some New Edition, and I didn't care. I was just kind of out there like with my food and I'm dancing because I felt happy. And then it was just a happy environment. It was diverse, a little bit of everybody. So the town of Boise showed up to this thing, which is great. So then again, I'm just looking around and there was this line of food trucks. I said, okay, there's hope for some catfish. And so I happened upon Big Easy Bites. I'm like, okay, Louisiana style. We know Louisiana, New Orleans food. Like, oh gosh, it's just, don't even let me go down that road. So I was a little skeptical because I'm like, are y'all from New Orleans? Do you know what you're doing? And so stopped there, and they had a catfish po' boy and a shrimp one. But I didn't want the po' boy. I just wanted the filet. Since I couldn't get it at the B&B, I was able to get that. And so here's a little bit of my review with that. In addition, though, there was a gumbo, and I'll talk about that separately. All right, let's check out this catfish. It looks good. Well, actually, I bit off it a little bit, and it was good. It's fresh, hot out the grease. That's one thing I've been missing since I've been here. It's just some good old fried catfish. It's good. It was seasoned well, and then there's some sauce here. I don't really know what sauce this is, but I am gonna check them out. They didn't have beignets. They said it takes 6 minutes to make the beignets, and they didn't want to have a long line at the food truck, and I appreciate that. Oh yes, this sauce has some Louisiana hot sauce in it. I don't know how they manage that, but it's good. I mean, it's a big piece of catfish, and I already been nibbling pretty good today, so I am ridiculously full. But you know what? When I have a hankering for catfish, I just go to the Cracker Barrel here. I love Cracker Barrel, but it's nice to find like a smaller place that also does some good catfish. So ultimately, goodbye. And it was about 4 o'clock, and they had run out of a lot of food, so a lot of places are running out. I'll let you know just how popular this is, because I was shocked. I drove around for an hour looking for a park, and I had to walk 15 minutes to get here. I don't mind it. It's just that it's 3.5 million degrees outside. That makes it a little challenging, just a smidge. But ultimately, I like the Soul Food Festival. I've run into some nice people. They did the cha-cha slide. Had to get in there and then get it in there one time for DJ Casper, who just passed away. People was like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Chicago. We do this. We did the wobble a little bit. It's nice. Different cultures, different kind of food. This was a good vibe. So far, so good. So, yes to the catfish. Okay, they did warn me because they said they ran out of jambalaya at 1:30 and the thing had only opened at 11 o'clock. I'm like, what? So I ordered some gumbo. They gave it to me in this huge tub with no top. So I'm walking around like it was bulky, and it was not good. It was not good. It was not good. It was not good. It was super salty. But when they warned me that they were almost out, so this was like the bottom of the bottom. And it was supposed to have shrimp in it. It was supposed to have okra in it. It was supposed to have some andouille sausage. Nope. There was only shredded chicken, some rice, and a little bit of roux. Just a little bit. When I say a little, by the time I walked out of that park, the rice had sucked all the juices up. I'm like, man, this hurt my soul because I was really kind of fixed on having this really great experience with some gumbo, but that did not happen. Um, but I'm willing to give them another chance. Apparently, they are a food truck around here, so they have different locations. I did write them a review like on Instagram, and I was like, "Hey, this gumbo was for the raccoons. It was not for people's." I did say that, but I did tell them that it was not well executed. But I'm willing to check them out again. But overall, my hair braider, she had her own booth there, so I got to hang out with her for a little bit, and she said, "Wow, this was way bigger than it was last year." So that's why the vendors kept running out of food. I give them grace, they'll be prepared next year. But overall, it was a good experience, lots of smiles, and I wish I had hit more of the vendors and the food trucks. Clearly, you have got to get there early. Don't be rolling in there in the afternoon. The music was good. There was a live band, and I started to hear like Billie Jean. I started to hear those chords, and I was like, oh, please don't ruin this. But really, they made it like a blues version. It sounded amazing. A lot of old school. It was great. It was a great time. It was hot. Next time I will wear a hat, good old visor, okay? Because the tan lines that I have is ridiculous. But yeah, Boise Soul Food Fest. Got to try some other eats. I think some of them were local. The Louisiana Big Easy truck, I will try them again, although skeptically. But yeah, so take two on my eating journey through Boise. I'm hoping for good things. I've been cooking a lot, which is it's good, of course. And I love to cook and meal prep and eating healthy and all that kind of stuff. But it's nothing like just getting the vibe of a city based on how much they love and what they put into their food. So thank you for checking this out. Check out my other, yes, food review videos. Crumble is always a classic, but man, there's life in this channel. There's encouragement in this channel. Anything that I'm learning or getting revelation of, I'm pouring back out, especially where it's such an interesting, kind of volatile uh, work situation right now. Interesting power dynamic for both leaders and professionals alike. So get in there, check out some of these other great videos, and I will see you in the next one.